Hi, I'm Shaheem, and I'm a freshman in the Frederick Douglass Distinguished Scholars Program. And over winter break, we read two books, and one of the books this year was How the World Sees You by Sally Hogshead. And I appreciated how this book took a particularly different approach by talking and emphasizing how the world sees you, not entirely how you see the world. And that's how you see the world is a method taken on by a variety of personality tests like the Myers-Briggs, for example. Also, I appreciated also a part of the title, actually, how the book focused on the sometimes difficult art of fascination and being fascinating. I learned a lot about myself in terms of being fascinating. Fascination is something always that I struggled with personally. I always associated fascination with creativity. And of course, that's not necessarily true. Creative people can be fascinating, and uncreative people or people who aren't that creative can be fascinating as well. Being fascinating is about truly embracing who you are and embracing your archetype and using that to fascinate people and to entice people to listen to the message that you have to deliver. So I think just understanding that I can actually be fascinating and becoming fascinating and using my strengths to become fascinating is something that I definitely took away from How the World Sees You. So, like I was saying, the book taught me a lot about embracing more who I am and learning about my own strengths and weaknesses, not just looking at people who are successful and looking at their strengths and weaknesses. I have to learn that I need to learn more about myself and what I'm good at and what I'm weak at before I can look and try and emulate others and what they're trying to do. I think another thing that oftentimes is lost in all of this is the importance of surrounding yourself with people who supplement and complement your archetype. It's really often, especially like in group projects, for example, it's really easy to just go for the people who have the same personality as you, or go for the people who are just as hard workers or have the same work ethic and try and work in the same ways that you. But as Sally explores in her book, How the World Sees You, it's not always best to just work with the people who are mirror images of you. It's sometimes better to complement that and supplement that with people who do things better than you do. So I think that's something definitely I will take into account moving forward. So one last thing I just want to talk about is how the book stressed because someone has a certain archetype, they're not less of a person than anyone else. There are strengths and merits to all the different primary advantages, and just because, like for example, your primary advantage isn't passion, it doesn't mean that you necessarily lack passion for things you care about. It means the world sees you in a way that's different, and in a way that your strengths are conveyed in other ways. I mean, just because you don't convey your strengths or convey your message with passion, it doesn't mean that you don't have passion. It's just that you're more substantive in other ways. So I want to talk a little bit about my own personal archetype, which is the victor. So I was very happy with the victor. I felt that it was representative of who I am, the organizations that I did work with in high school, the leadership positions that I've held. My primary advantage is prestige, and my secondary advantage is power. So focusing on prestige, it means that I earn respect through higher standards and pushing myself to be ambitious and achieve the best results possible. So in terms of the power, which is the secondary, so it's what I'm doing when I'm not necessarily embracing prestige. It means that I lead and command, and I lead with command and work to be confident in my delivery of ideas, and I work well in positions of leadership. So I think the Victor and my twin, the Maestro, like I mentioned, are perfect for the line of work that I'm personally interested in. As a political science student interested in policymaking, public service, and law, I think changing demographics and defying the status quo require people willing to step up and embrace major challenges. And I plan on continuing to demand the best work for myself, but help others from all backgrounds achieve and be their best as well. And I think a big part of that is respecting other archetypes and their ability to complement my own archetype. That's a necessary component in this great challenge. And I think Sally did a good job of describing the ways in which I can understand I think Sally did a great job in describing the ways in which I can better understand others and ensure that I'm accurate in portraying the way that I want to personally be understood. So I just want to wrap it up by just saying I plan on using the strengths conveyed in my archetype to work with other members of my Frederick Douglass Distinguished Scholar community, the honors community, and the greater communities of my university, my city, Washington, D.C., and my hometown, Bridgeport, Connecticut, and the greater community of my country as well. So thank you for watching, and I hope this video might encourage you to pursue and work to understand your own archetype and the ways that which you build your teams or you pursue and succeed in your positions at work. So thank you.